I'm not so sure about Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. When I'm looking at these opening cutscenes, which is meant to fire you up for the fights, they look good, but they're just not like what I'm used to in the past. So if we look at Street Fighter V, for example, I would say this is equally as good, maybe even better than what we just saw with Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Compared to a modern game like Street Fighter 6, here's Cammy. They just look so much better quality. Not to mention this opening that just really fires you up before you even start the fight. Like, if Fatal Fury had something like this, I would say it would be so much better as a game, but unfortunately it doesn't. And then comparing to like Dragon Ball Z Fighter or Fighter Z, look at this. It's like an anime masterpiece. Like, this really sets the lead in terms of what we expect in a fighting game. But what about like the finishing things? This is Fatal Fury's. You know, it's okay. It's cool. It looks clean and everything, but it's just like stuff we're used to in the past. Nothing too special. A little bit awkward with this freeze at the end. But then Street Fighter 6, an older game, look how it's done it. It just looks so much better, so much cleaner, so much crisper. And then again, Street Fighter 5, look at this closing scene. I would say that's way more animation than what we just saw in Fatal Fury. And then let's not forget Tekken 8. Clive at the end, the fire, the animations, the music. Like, that's some quality attention to detail. Now, what about the ults? Well, Fatal Fury's ults are not too bad. They actually did the ults pretty good. They're quite long, they're picturesque, they look cool. But again, comparing it to recent games, Street Fighter 6, here's Mai's one in Street Fighter 6. I would say it's almost as good, if not better, than what we just saw in Fatal Fury, unfortunately. And then you look at an old game like Street Fighter 5, this is their ults. Still very, very nice, very, very good quality. We're kind of spoilt these days. And Dragon Ball Z, Fighter Z, my goodness, look at this. It's like watching the cartoon itself. And that's the thing, for Fatal Fury, I expect more. Because I'm used to Clive doing this. I can't believe that this is an actual fighting game. It looks like Final Fantasy, doesn't it? But it's not, it's Tekken 8. Now, what about the gameplay? Well, this is Fatal Fury's gameplay. It's not too bad, actually. It feels good. It seems like it's got some challenging things to it that you can develop and get better in. It's definitely not like an easy fighting game. It's one that's like similar to Street Fighter, where you got to maybe get practice in your execution a little bit. But it felt so similar with this revving up system to what I experienced in Street Fighter V with the V-Drive stuff, if you remember that. If you don't, this is Street Fighter V. Now, I didn't activate any V-Drives here, but you can kind of see, like, is there really a huge difference? Yes, maybe the quality of this Street Fighter V is not as good, but it's an older game, but it's not that far off it. And considering that's $15 versus $100, I think it's still pretty good. Now, what about Street Fighter 6? This is a game that's worth exactly the same price as Fatal Fury, unless you get it on sale. Look at this. I would say this is way better. It's kind of got these three-dimensional backgrounds. You got like moving backgrounds, the animations. Obviously, the characters themselves look really top-notch. That 3D, 2D thing works so well. And this game is actually usually cheaper than what you get in Fatal Fury. And that's the thing, I'm like, for a new game, is this one gonna be the one that's gonna like beat all the current ones? Is this that new fighting game they're all gonna switch to and say, this is the one, this is the #1 fighting game of 2025? I don't think so. I think the fighting games of past years are still gonna be the #1 fighting games in 2025. But let me know what you think. Do you think that Fatal Fury is gonna be the best fighting game we've ever seen to date, or is it gonna be a bit of a miss?